Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the GT Sport League here at Gavra Racing. I believe we are now live. Hello everyone, and you join us here for the final time in Season 4 here at Dragon Trail Gardens in the backwards configuration. And what an end to the season this could be. We've had 14 amazing, outstanding races. Season 4 has been an absolute amazing season. 3 different car classes, 15 different tracks, but we can only have one championship winner. The Drivers' Championship has already been wrapped up by Play Duchy for the 3rd consecutive time in a row. However, the Teams' Championship is still all to play for. We've got 2 teams level on points going into this race, the final race of the season. It's Tiger Assassin and Toussaint versus Play Duchy and Bon Evil. Both teams level on 560 points. If you don't believe me, go check the website as we are live. If you're not live, it will probably, might as well, most likely have been updated. And I am actually finally joined by Woody. Welcome, Woody, to the comms box. I think this is the first time this season.
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, I did last season, the finale, for like half the race. I think that was my... I've done some F1 races as well, so yeah. Wouldn't say I'm experienced though.
And it is a pleasure to have someone joining me tonight. We have just to update you, we've gone through the championship standings. How it is level on points. It's absolutely crazy. I think this is the first time in Gavra Racing history that we've had 2 constructors level on points going into the final race of the season. We've got 12 minutes left in quali, and unfortunately Toussaint disconnected halfway through the session, so we're going to have a restart at the start of the race, and Toussaint's going to be starting from the back. That is going to be huge when it comes to the race. You're one of your championship rivals, or one of the championship contenders even, starting from the back.
Yeah, it's crucial to be honest, because like every single point makes a difference in this, to be honest.
And, hello to everyone joining us in the chat. We've got just over under 12 minutes left of qualifying to go. It's Tim on pole position and Duchy joining him on the front row. This track, I'd say, does promote overtaking opportunities, but it's not going to be easy for Toussaint to make his way through the field. He'd done really well, to be fair, doing it last week at Mount Panorama after the incident down at turn 2. There's turn 1, turn 3, the hairpin before the chicane. Someone's actually gone off at the chicane. It's Piero. He's got no damage, but the death chicane, Dragon Trail has 2 of them, one at this track, one of them at Seaside. This one, though, is doesn't have as close as barriers. It has those high sausage curves on the apex, as you can see. Piero taking one a little bit too much, sends him into the barrier, but he can start another flying lap or dives into the pits for a fresh set of the medium tyres. I believe everyone is on the mediums.
Yeah, obviously, I'm not sure if the strategy is different, but I'm pretty sure most drivers will go medium soft supers. I'm not too sure how long the mediums last for this track, but I don't know if the tyre is high or not.
Yeah, I think out of all the tracks we've had on the calendar, this is one that is definitely higher than some others. You've got the really technical middle sector with lots of left, right, so it's definitely going to put a lot of strain on the tyres. The rest of the tracks, you've got some straights, and the final corner being a long swooping right-hander. That's definitely going to wear down the front left tyres, the left tyres in particular, which might make strategy interesting. We might see some people try something different in this race.
Yeah, because turning 1 and 2, even though you might see in the top right of your screen that tiny straight, you're still constantly turning right on the wheel, and sometimes drivers, they could hold right for too much, which could easily strain their tyres a lot. So this is really going to separate like the drivers who are good with dealing with tyre wear and drivers who aren't.
Yeah, definitely. We might see some drivers possibly even go off the default strategy that we're used to seeing, the medium soft, super soft. Maybe you might see someone go for the super soft option first, maybe to try and get a gap to come back at the race stronger on a fresher set of softs compared to someone's worn super softs. Who knows? Tim, though, is starting his lap. He's currently on provisional pole position by just over a tenth. Rick Holt and Aston both improving, going up into 7th and 9th respectively. But Tim could play a big spanner in the works here for this race. We've seen him up there in the top spots all the season. He might just get in the middle of Dutchy, Tiger, Bonnie and Toussaint's little championship fight and make it a little bit interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
He's gone purple through the first sector.
And he still has provisional pole as well, so he's going to get even more an edge of Dutchy. He does have the slipstream of Tubster as well.
Yes, got a little bit of a train in front of him.
I think Dutchy is going to start a lap behind Tubster, so the slipstream's definitely going to help him improve.
Yeah, Tim picks up a 4/10 time penalty just before the hairpin. I don't know if he's going to serve it this lap or... He is going to serve it this lap, so he won't improve at this lap. Finn's gone purple through the first sector, going through the hairpin now to go down the back straight, a key overtaking opportunity. He's in the slipstream of Bon Evil, who's pulled over to the right hand side. He's only just improving. He's lost a little bit of time through the third sector. Someone's off at the chicane, riding on board with the German. We'll be able to see who it is. I think that might have been Aston, but not too sure. Tim's pulled over to the right to let Finn go through. Tobster improves, goes up into third place. Where can Finn...
is using Tobster's slipstream, so I think Dutchy might improve this lap.
Where does Finn go? Up to the line, improves on his time, but not in his position. So close, 300ths behind Tobster. It's a 1:31.2. Let's have a look at Dutchy's first sector, going through the triple, quadruple left-hander. He's purple by 3/10. It's the same gap that Tim had. He's cut the corner on the inside. That could be a 5/10 penalty. We'll have to wait and see whether the game punishes him or not. And yes, indeed it is a 5/10 penalty. So he's unlikely to prove on this lap. Tobster slowed down to let Dutchy go through. He won't improve. But he's got Tiger Assassin right behind. Could be in the slipstream range. I think he's just inside Tobster's slipstream, but they both pull over to the right, especially Dutchy, not wanting to give his championship rivals any aid going down the back straight. Let's have a look at his sector though. He's up by 1.5 tenths. It's going to have to be a really good final sector to get ahead of Finn. Uses as much of the inside curb as he can.
You really have to be careful with that curb or else you will launch on that sausage curb.
And the final corner.
Pretty aggressive over it.
Yeah, I think if you nail it perfectly, I think if you go over the middle of the curb, it doesn't launch you. But it is a risk you have to take in the race to gain time. Does Tiger improve? He does by 3/10 for a 1:31.4. Only good enough for an improvement on the time. Maintains 5th position for now. Dutchy and Tobster will be starting their laps after bailing on the previous one. Finn's coming around the final corner. Can he improve on his time? He has Aston just a few seconds up the road. Does he improve? I saw that was Webson's. Webson's goes up into 7th. Finn doesn't improve.
I think Bonnie's is about to cross the line. I don't think it's improvement. He might be starting on a lap behind Aston because he does have the slipstream.
And definitely will be beneficial down the straights. It's almost a 50-50 whether you want slipstream round this track. Obviously you'll get it in the first sector, going down the long start finish straight and the straight that follows. But then through the middle sector, the effect of the dirt, I don't know, it's kind of like Suzuka's first sector. Someone's off at the penultimate corner. I can see it on the map, flicking through to find who it is. It is another difficulty. It is Ted, who is a replacement driver for today's race. Let's get a replay to see how much of the sausage curb he took on the inside. He didn't take any in the first. Took quite a bit in the second, but does he take too much on the third? Yes, he does. He gets into that little dip. It's almost like a trench at the penultimate corner. Sent his Peugeot spinning.
Tim's improving. He's just went purple in sector 1. Oh, he's onto the grass. I'm not sure if the game will be penalised for that.
Tim purple, yeah, Dutchy up to the line. Does Dutchy improving? Goes on to provisional pole by 100th. Tim getting another time penalty. So we've seen the pace that Tim's got in that Mazda. He's setting purple sectors. It's whether he can keep it across the whole lap without getting any time penalties, without making any mistakes. What about Finn up to the line on a worn set of mediums? Comes into the pits. Tiger just coming out of the pits. Bon Evil, who's had Aston's slipstream for most of the lap. Looks like he's fallen a little bit behind on this one. Does come into the pits. Rick Holt improves, goes up into 6th place, I think, as Aston goes up into 10th, and it is 6th place for the Dutchman in this session. 4 minutes 25 left to go. And now that's Tim off at the... He's hit the... How has he done that? He's hit the barrier going down the start-finish straight, the one that kind of sticks out. Maybe a little bit of a lack of concentration. Does he go wide at the final corner? Yes, he does. And he just couldn't quite get it back onto the track, and he's hit that barrier that sticks out. A really bizarre crash from Tim. But it's back into the pits.
Luckily, he was right at the pit entrance, so it didn't cost him too much time. So he does have time to set another lap there, instead of going around the whole lap with engine damage.
Here goes Ted up to the line. His personal best is a 33.8, improves by 1.5 seconds, goes just ahead of Aston, and just behind Webson's. It's a 1:32.2, only 1.3 seconds off provisional pole position. It's fairly close in this race. Hello everyone joining us in the chat. Thank you to all 10 people tuning in for qualifying. We've got 12 drivers on the grid, 11 in quali, 2 Saint disconnected in the first half, so we'll be starting this race from back of the grid, which could be the deciding championship moment. Tiger Assassin will be starting his penultimate flying lap. Let's try and find someone coming around the final corner. We've got Topster on an out lap. With Rick Holt in front. Does he improve? Does improve. Goes maintains 6th position at ahead of Bon Evil, behind Tiger Assassin with a 31.7. Dutchie's on an out lap. I think a lot of drivers are on out laps or just starting their final flying laps. Pierre improves, goes ahead of Tiger Assassin with a 1:31.4. 2 of the championship contenders for the constructors are down in 6th and 8th place.
Yeah, but I think Tiger and Toussaint are really have to fight back here during the race, because of course Plaiducci does have that provisional pole, and Bonnie technically has the edge on Toussaint, so, and is only 2 places behind Tiger, so yeah. If one team outscores another by even a singular point, whether that be on the racetrack or by fastest lap, they will be crowned the team's constructors champions for season 4. It's whether or not Tiger and Toussaint can make it 3 consecutive constructors in a row, or whether Plaiducci and Bon Evil will have the power to stop them. Here goes Tiger Assassin around the final corner. He's got Plaiducci tucked up nicely behind him in the slipstream. What's it going to be for Tiger? But can Dutchy extend his provisional pole? Tiger goes up into 3rd, and Plaiducci was actually on an out lap or either bailed, so he doesn't improve. What about Tim? He's improving through the first sector. Tiger letting Dutchy go through, not giving the Dutchman any slipstream on his lap, as Tobson improves, goes up into 4th place. Yeah, great lap from Tiger. He's still only 2 tenths between between first and 5th, which is just shows how competitive this grid is. It's
definitely going to be an interesting race if the drivers can stick with each other, especially through that technical middle sector. Bon Evil up to the line, improves by 8 tenths, goes up into 6th place, a 10th behind Finn, half a tenth ahead of Piero, and puts himself, gains an extra few points if he was to finish in 6th place. But this is just qualifying, no points for quali. Tim is purple on his lap, apparently going round the final corner. Can he knock Dutchy off provisional pole? Yes, he can by 2.5 tenths. An outstanding lap from the Finnish driver with a 1:30.7. Might be his final, might be his best. It will have to wait and see whether Dutchy is improving. He's going through the final chicane now. Has he hooked it up nicely? We'll have to wait and see what the lap time is when he crosses the line. There's 1 corner to go. Lifts off to about 50% throttle before putting the foot fully flat up to the line. Can Dutchy knock Tim off provisional pole position? Yes, he can by 0.04 of a second. Minimal gaps in the league. What about Tiger Assassin? He's about to start his final lap. The timer is up. Topster up to the line. Does it improve? Someone else is coming up to the line. I'm not too sure who it is. It's Rick Holt, who will start at best of 8th place. Websons is off at the final corner, so he won't be improving. Finn doesn't improve. Piero doesn't improve. A lot of drivers not improving on their final laps. Can Aston promote himself ahead of Ted off the back row of the grid? Yes, he can. Goes up into 9th place ahead of Websons. As Websons, who won't be improving, he's off at the final corner. I'm trying to find the driver going around the final corner. I flicked on into a second. It was Bon Evil who's lifting off. Won't be improving. We'll start this race from a maximum of 6th place. Webson's can't improve. He's down in 10th place after that mistake. Tim's got engine damage on his lap, so he won't be improving. There is someone else going around the final corner, and if I could find them, it's Ted, who's opted for drifting around the final corner. He will start this race from 11th place. And we do need a restart because Toussaint's not in the race.
It's a great qualifying between Dutchy and Tim. Only 400s between them. So hopefully we can have a good race. And this could potentially, the battle between Dutchy and Tim, you never know, it could decide the Constructors' Championship. Depending where Toussaint finishes.
Tiger Assassin actually improved, though I didn't even notice he was on a lap, but maintains third position with a 1 minute 30.9. But it's Play Dutchy, the one driver is fighting for this Constructors' Championship, who starts on pole position, his teammate down in 6th, Tiger in 3rd, has his teammate starting from the back of the grid. This is definitely going to be a close, intense championship fight. We won't have the build-up to the start of the race because we are going to have a restart. What a way to kick off the final race of the season with a lobby restart. But to go through the grid, it's Dutchy on pole position with Tim joining him on the front row. Tiger Assassin starting in 3rd place, followed by Tobsit in 4th. Finn in 5th has Bon Evil for company in 6th. Just behind is Piero Rick Holtz in 7th and 8th. Aston in 9th, Webson's in 10th, and Ted ran the back of the grid in 11th, but we'll have Toussaint behind in 12th for when we get this race started. We're going to have almost a practice start because a restart is due for to let Toussaint get back into the race. I don't think Dutchy's going to want to concede. I hope these guys realise we are restarting, but they seem to be racing. Let me just remind everyone that we are restarting. We do have the rules for if someone disconnects during qualifying, we don't restart the qualifying session, we just restart it. We just restart the race, and there is quite a big incident down at turn 3. That is probably the quickest everyone has left the lobby. Ted is leading this race. Never thought I'd say that. But yeah, we've got to wait for everyone to re-enter the race. I just need to change the event settings to grid set by host, and then we can get this one underway. So Woody, who do you think is going to take home the Constructors tonight?
It's a tough one, but at the moment Dutchy and Bonnie have the edge with Toussaint disconnecting the qualifying. But to be honest, you never know what's going to happen. Like, that's racing.
It can all change on the final lap, as it has done many times this season. Flashbacking back to Alsace when Dutchy lost it on the penultimate lap.
Because it really is very hard to tell, because you have Toussaint and Bonnie towards the back, and then Tiger and Dutchy towards the front. So if you really see it as they have their own individual battles between the two teammates, you know, like, anything could really happen.
It's almost like saying Hamilton versus Max, Bottas versus Perez in the real life F1 when it comes to Abu Dhabi Mercedes. So have a slightly bigger advantage than we do here. It is not equal on points in real life in their constructors, but they are equal in terms of drivers. It's quite insane how F1 is equal as well as us here at GT Sport. It's 30 points for a win, 24 for second and 21 for third. Crucial points needed for this championship. All the minor mistakes that that would have implemented the standings throughout the season has all led to this moment. Maybe Bonnie leaving in Suzuka might just be enough for Tiger and Toussaint to win this championship. We'll have to wait and see. I do have a picture of the grid, so I will just be quickly sorting that out. Because if anyone wants to get a cup of tea or some popcorn, feel free to do so whilst I just quickly get this custom grid set up. Rick Holt, Ebson's, Ted, and Toussaint. So just to clarify, is Play Dutchy on pole, Tim in second, Tiger in third, Tobster in fourth, Finn in fifth, Bonnie in sixth, Piero in seventh, Rick Holt in eighth, Aston in ninth, Webson's in 10th, Ted in 11th, and Toussaint in 12th. That is the grid sorted. Let's do the classic starting soon to let everyone know that we are ready to go racing for the final time this season. And I think we are ready. Everyone appears to be out on track. Just going to quickly check to see if they're all on the medium tyres. We don't want to see any sneaky cheats on the grid. But we are ready. Everyone's entered the race. The grid has been set for the final race of the season here at Dragon Trail Gardens. The backwards configuration consisting of 17 corners and 2.7 miles long is going to be the host for the final race of Season 4, Round 15, where the Constructors' Championship can be decided. They're level on points. They're starting 1st and 6th, 3rd and 12th. What a way to conclude the season here tonight. We're going to hide the UI from the screen. So Dutchy will lead the grid for the final time this season. The engines build, you can hear them roar for one last time in Season 4, and it's a lights out, and away we go. Dutchy's off to a good start, Tim off to an even better start from the grid. Dutchy though with a really good start. Tiger already looking down the inside of Tim, he's not going to be holding anything back. Toussaint keeping it a little bit cautious going through turn 2. Tim's gone a little bit wide, that might allow Tiger down the inside. Finn down the inside at top, so these two going wheel to wheel. Toussaint's already up into 8th place, will a start from him, he's gained 4 positions on the opening lap. Dutchy with a 5-10 advantage over Tim behind, has Tiger right closely following in pursuit. Bonnie Evil sending one down the inside of Topster, going for some late moves to try and gain some positions early on in this race. That's Topster wide now down to 7th place. He might even go behind Toussaint, who's made his way up into 7th place from the start. Aston dropping down into 12th. A good start from Dutchy, the start he needs to maintain the lead. Bonnie Evil up into 5th place to try and gain some crucial points. Websons and Rick Holt going wheel to wheel through the technical middle sector. Rick Holt trying to hold it around the outside of Websons, will have the inside line. These two still going wheel to wheel now down in towards the hairpin. Ted's going to try and get involved round the outside. They're 4 wide through the hairpin. Aston on the inside. He's gained a few positions. He's gone from 12th to 9th in one corner. It's going to be a drag race with Rick Holt. Ted getting a good slingshot in towards the chicane. But I think everyone has survived lap 1.
Yeah, it was a great start from Bonnie and Toussaint. Bonnie's looking for a move in the chicane.
And he's got it done down the inside. And that is Dutchy and Bonnie, both of them ahead of Tiger and Toussaint. Toussaint's made a really good start. He's gained 5 positions on the opening lap. But Tiger dropping down to 5th place, not the start he would have been hoping for if he's hoping to keep the championship alive in towards turn 1. Tim maintaining behind Tim, but now Pierro's off into the grass and he's off into the wall, and I'm not sure if he's got damage. I don't have the thingy on, but he does have damage, rear suspension and aero damage. We can get a replay to see what happens with that Frenchman later on the brakes. Just tried to avoid Tiger and unfortunately went into the grass, and that is him into the barrier with rear damage and down to 10th place.
Toussaint's gone past Topster, so it's Tiger, Toussaint versus Bonnie. Bonnie just needs to stay ahead of them and maybe catch up to Finn ahead, who is 8/10 ahead.
Or Bonnie might even hold them up to prevent them from catching up to play Dutchy, who's under pressure from Tim. Tim is almost kind of Toussaint and Tiger's saving grace at the minute, because they're both behind Bonnie and Dutchy. They need Tim to effectively win this race if neither of them are on the top step on the podium to deduct Dutchy of a few points in the championship. And this will be one of the races I'm guessing they're going to work as well as they can together to gain as many positions. Toussaint already gaining 8 after 1.5 laps.
Yeah, it's a great start from Toussaint. We're already on lap 2 and he's up to P6, and bear in mind he started from the very back of the grid.
The look at the gap that Tim has to Finn, almost 2 seconds after 3 laps of racing. It's definitely going to be a case of if Dutchy wins this race, but Bonnie's going to try and send one down the inside of Finn in towards turn 1. He's gone so deep. He's in the wall. He's got engine damage. He's got engine damage. That is catastrophic for Team Interrogator in the championship. Bonnie with engine damage at the end of lap 3. Tiger Assassin now pulling alongside Finn down the second straight in towards turn 3. You can see Bonnie crawling down the straight. Finn's got a little bit wide. Tiger with the switchback move sends one down the inside. They're going wheel to wheel through the long left-hander that just feels like it's going on forever. Toussaint's going to try and follow him through on the inside, but that is huge in this championship fight.
Now what Dutchy needs to hope is Bonnie just keeps the head, and he needs an insane comeback drive to stay in this Constructors' Championship now.
And
but I'm sure he is well capable.
And well, he's got engine damage at the worst possible part of the track down at turn 1. He's going to be crawling for the rest of the 2 miles he's got to do. And as things stand, I know it's only lap 3, but it will be Team BCMR who win this championship. I pretty much calculated every scenario before this race. And it is Tiger Assassin and Toussaint in 3rd and 5th place at the minute. Who's going to win this? Finn's gone over the sausage curb. He's gone deep, and that's going to allow Toussaint to go around the outside up into 4th place. What a start from Toussaint. Thompson's now going to try and go down the inside of Finn. The 2 Germans go wheel to wheel through the final corner. It's a long right-hander, puts a lot of strain on the outside tyres. Can Finn hold this round the outside? Does Thompson give him the room? There was just about enough room. It has to go onto the grass. That allows Rick Holt to get the momentum in the run in towards turn 1. Meanwhile, Topster and Toussaint now going side by side round the outside of turn 1. Finn has to tuck in behind. Topster tucks in behind the Brit. For now, Finn sends one on turn 2 and then maintains behind the Dutchman. Meanwhile, one Dutchman leading this race by 1.6 seconds.
Yeah, so I think Toussaint and Tiger just need to not do anything stupid. They're in a perfect position at the moment. They just need to keep Topster away, and yeah.
If they finished 3rd and 4th, Bonnie will need to catch up to 6th place, I believe, with a fastest lap, with Dutchy currently owning that, I believe, to win the championship. With 3 points separating the points from 2nd to 6th, meaning... Well, the gap between 1st and 2nd is 6 points. The gap between 2nd and 6th, if you take each interval, is 3 points. So they're either going to be equal on points, 3 points, or 1 point ahead by the end of this race, dependent on if they all finish inside the top 6, which is definitely going to be a way to end this season. Absolutely chaotic start. Boneville is 43 seconds behind Dutchy and 15 seconds behind Piero.
Crucially, Bonnie is, with that damage, he is on a good... Not like a good strategy necessarily, but on a good strategy to set the fastest lap, because he's obviously going to be doing a 3-stopper. But that means because he's already gone his mediums out of the way, we could see him go on either the softs from ice or the supers twice. So yeah, we just have to wait and see. Yeah,
we've seen Manuel and Finn pull up a masterclass at Willow Springs when they pitted up for the soft tyres when everyone was still on the mediums. They were able to catch up in that stint and then pit again for another set of soft tyres. I think the pit lane is quite long here at this track. It doesn't look like it on the track, but by the time the car reaches the garage, I think it's a fair few seconds, which is definitely not going to aid Bonnie's attempt of a recovery drive, plus the engine damage sustained at the start of lap 3. Meanwhile, we've got a nice battle forming for 5th place. Tobster, Rick Holt and Finn closely following Toussaint's Alexis, who's going to give Tobster a little bit of a tow down the back straight. But that Mercedes has got some straight line speed advantage over the Peugeot. We could see a move down at turn 1 if Rick Holt can get a good exit through the final corner and the chicane. Hello everyone currently watching. We're bringing to an end of lap 5. Someone's off! Who is off at the chicane? It's Tim! Tim is off, and that promotes Tiger and Toussaint up into 3rd and 2nd place. Tim might drop down to 5th place because Topster's going to go down the inside. I'm going to get a replay ready for when the racing has a little bit of a pause in it. But Rick Holt with the momentum from the final corner. Tim still building up speed from the incident. He's going to have a run. And that's Finn into the pits. He doesn't have damage. So Finn trying something different in this race for the final time this season. Here goes Rick Holt down the inside of Tim. Has he broke too late? He's nailed the braking point. But Tim with the beautiful switchback move for turn 2. They're going to go wheel to wheel on exit. The Mazda versus the Mercedes. And it looks like the Mazda's come out on top with Rick Holt running a little bit wide. Let's have a look though at that earlier incident with Tim. Does he cut the inside? Oh no, he got onto the sausage curb for the second half of the chicane, and that just caused the rear to snap.
Yeah, extremely unlucky. You have to wonder what's going through Dutchy's mind. He's in the worst possible situation for the constructors, especially with Tim as kind of his shield between Tiger and Toussaint, like making a mistake in the chicane. And Bonnie is down in 11th, so yeah.
And we've seen Piero has actually set the fastest lap of the race on a fresh set of the soft compound tyres. They're lapping 31s, high 30s. The leaders, well, Dutchy's in the mid 31s, Tiger Toussaint in the high 31s. So if they keep the second lap pace up until the pit stop, Tops are taking air over the sausage can. If they can keep the pace up till the pit stop, depends how long these mediums last. I mean, it's going to be a tough job for a recovery drive. No safety cars, or no automatic safety cars in GT Sport. It's going to be a tough recovery drive.
Yeah, definitely. Because you don't have that extra strategy option with the safety cars and stuff. Because really, Bonneville, obviously, if Bonneville was an F1, he'd be praying for a safety car with that 42 seconds behind his teammate Clay Dutchy.
Yeah, with no safety car in Gran Turismo, it's going to all have to be down to race pace and other driver errors around him. And, it's out of all the races to have a recovery drive, the one where it matters the most and the one where all the pressure builds, it's not going to be an easy job. Tim running wide through turn 3, 4, 5 and 6. The triple left-hander cost him a little bit of time to Tobster. It's allowed Rick Holt to gain within 3-4 tenths of a second. Might see a move down in towards the chicane. Not really close enough for a move at the hairpin. Doesn't decide to send one. Thinks more smartly about it, but will need a good run if he's to get past the Finnish driver. He's made a few mistakes this race. In qualifying, he made a few minor errors, costing him some 5/10 penalties. How does he defend this one from Rick Holt, who doesn't send one into the chicane? Might try and wait for turn 1.
Aston is also right behind Ted. I think that's one of our closest battles. Rick Holt is still right behind Tim. Obviously, I'm pretty sure Tim, we've seen him up there with Dutchy, does have the pace advantage. But with Rick Holt in the Slipstream and the Power Mercedes, he's still keeping within 4 tenths.
It just looked like Tim had such a good run through the final corner. Maybe the Master just able to take a little bit more speed through the higher speed right-hander.
Rick Holt Crushey will probably lose time in Sector 2 with all that dirty air and the quick left-rights.
Yeah, Dutchy with some nice clean air is allowed to pull away from Tiger and Toussaint. He's got 2-3 seconds between them. The closest battle is still this one for 5th place. Got Ted has Aston for company right behind him as well. Well, let's have a look at Bonnevil's progress. He's gained 2 seconds on Play Dutchy in the past 3 or 4 laps. At that rate, it might be the time when they come into the pits, and I think Bonnie will come out alongside them. To be honest, it's still the same gap to Piero. Has actually set a fastest first sector, so is still trying to make an impression in this championship fight.
Still got taken into consideration. Bonnie's a pit stop ahead of Dutchy, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna take a completely different strategy to these other front drivers. So just have to see where he can end up towards the end of the race.
And if my testing skills were right, I think there's 19 laps of fuel approximately in the car. With a 38 lap race, it makes things interesting. Do you put all the fuel in for the first pit stop, or do you, assuming you pit at the end of lap 19, do you put all the fuel in, or do you put a small amount in to make the tyres last, and then do you put all of it in at the end to guarantee you making it to the end? Have to wait and see. That's how different strategies for this season have really made it kind of a slow burning race each week. We kind of see the immediate impact at the start. Ted's running wide. Ted to Aston, opportunistic, trying to look for one down the inside. With a small error from Ted, almost costing him a position for the battle for 7th place.
Finn's also creeping behind Aston and Ted, who has just made his pit stop. So we just got to see how easily he'll be able to get past these, because he has a lot fresher tyres and on a faster compound.
It's going to be interesting to see if Finn's strategy actually works. Pitting early for the softs, going quicker than everyone on the mediums whilst he's on the softs, and then when everyone else's mediums have burnt out, he just gets those easy overtakes like a shark in the sea of fish, and promotes his way up the grid. He's now got Aston and Ted to deal with, biting for 7th place. He's got to run on Aston through the final corner. He's going down the inside of the race. He's going to go down the inside of Ted as well. These two going wheel to wheel, and just look at the grip that Finn has. Aston as well is going to follow him through and goes up into 8th place. Ted just didn't have any drive at all from the final corner. Almost looked like he bogged down, but was running in a lower engine. He might be saving fuel.
I was just about to say, Finn's strategy would only work if he was easily able to pass Ted and Aston, and he did exactly that. Oh, Ted's looking very loose in the exit. I think he just clipped the grass on the exit of turn 2. He's dropped 1.7 seconds already to Aston, so he's losing shape, but he does have similar pace to Aston, so let's see if he can try and catch up.
Oh, he's gone wide onto the AstroTurf. You don't want to go out there, Ted. It can cause the car to drift wide and you'll find yourself in the grass or on the barriers. Meanwhile, up front, Dutchy's extended his gap by about 0.2 to 5.4 seconds. The gap between Tiger, Toussaint, Topster is all kind of maintained about the 2.5 second window. Tim still closely in pursuit of Rick Holt for 5th place, trying to gain some points to get himself up to 2nd place in the championship. However, his championship rivals are 2nd and 3rd place. Rick Holt getting the back end stepped out through turn 13, I think. No, turn 14. That might cost him momentum to Tim's behind, who's 1/10 going through the final corner. They're going wheel to wheel down the start-finish straight to start lap 10. Tim on the inside of Rick Holt. It's a drag race towards turn 1. I think the Mercedes just has the edge over the Mazda, who has the braking performance. Tim down the inside gets the move done up into 5th place, unless Rick Holt can get a good exit through turn 2 and challenge into turn 3. The delta is coming down 4/10 between the two, but I don't think he's close enough to send one down the inside. He's going to keep tucking him behind, but he isn't close enough to get the move back.
I think at the moment he's lapping a few tenths quicker than Topster. I think he is gaining, so once he just gets away from Rick Holt, he's on the charge for Topster, and maybe you never know. I don't know if it's possible. He could get Toussaint.
We'll have to wait and see. It's a long
they are
race.
Lapping similar.
Maybe Tim might try an undercut to reduce the gap, get off those worn mediums, put on a fresh set of softs or super softs. Maybe Tiger and Toussaint might split the strategy. One might go for softs, one might go for super softs. They might not risk it being in. They might not risk the strategy in this good position.
Yeah, Dutchy just got wide on the grass there. Managed to save it though. Didn't cost him too much.
Still has a 5.6 second advantage. Let's go back down to Bon Evil's gap. 41 seconds. The gap hasn't really changed. Look at the wear on those soft compound tyres. He's been on them for 7 laps, and the wear is quite significant. He's lost 0.6 through the middle sector on his personal best, set on lap 7. And it's actually Finn with the fastest lap. He's on a charge, 3 seconds behind Rick Holt, 18 and a half behind your race leader. Maybe the 3 stops the way to go, depending on how long these guys stay out on the mediums. Finn's tyre wear on the softs is almost as bad as the mediums, and the longer he's on those softs, the worse it's going to get. But it could be the strategy. You've got to risk it all on the final race of the season, especially when you're in Finn's position. He's got absolutely nothing to lose. There's only 4 drivers who have something to lose. Dutchy, Tiger, Toussaint and Bon Evil, all fighting for the constructors.
And at the moment it is in Tiger and Toussaint's way, with Bon Evil down in 10th.
That gap out in front only getting bigger. It looks like Dutchy's on course for another race win, but it's only lap 12 out of 38. It's about a 60-minute long race to see off the season finale here at season 4. And tyre wear is definitely going to be up there as one of the highest of the season. A technical track, especially the middle sector, where we might see a 3-stop be the most effective strategy. We'll have to wait and see. We've got technically three drivers on a 3-stop. Finn on a committed 3-stop. He's caught up to the back of Rick Holt already. Look at their speed through the final corner. He's in the slipstream. He's got such a good momentum down the start-finish straight. He's alongside the Mercedes going down the start-finish straight in towards turn 1. Finn on the inside gets the move done up into 6th place, easy as you like, and he's gaining on Dutchy, he's gaining on Tim. This strategy may be the best for this track. We'll have to wait and see. Someone is into the pits, and it's Piero for the second time this race.
Yeah, it's actually for once, like, we do have differing strategies going on. It's almost hard to keep track, but at the moment, wait, is this Piero's second stop?
Yes, Piero's second stop. Yeah, damage at the end of lap 2.
Oh. So he still is a few seconds ahead. He's only a few seconds behind Bonnie, so let's just see that a battle might brew up soon between him and Bonnie.
And yeah, Piero definitely on a 3-stop, waiting for another set of softs, meaning he has to go onto the super soft tyres. The new tyre regulations for this season, it's mandatory to use all 3 sets at each race weekend. Almost practically, technically, I am copying the Nations Cup tyre rules that they were running for last season's Nations Cup finals. Makes it interesting at the start with all the drivers on the quicker tyres at the front, and all the drivers on the slower tyres tend to drop off towards the back. The middle kind of dies down when everyone's pitting for different tyres, and then towards the end you have all the slow tyres, compounds at the front, and all the fast ones at the back, and it's a case of can the faster tyres make their way through the field. Unfortunately, we haven't had that this season because everyone's gone for the boring medium soft, super soft strategy. Pretty much all 15 races, so we haven't had the full effect that I was hoping for, but we have had a few odd races where drivers have attempted it, and it has worked, it hasn't worked.
Topster. And he's right in the rear bumper of Topster now. See if he can make him. I'd say he'll get him by the straight. He is only 2/10.
You were saying how Tim could catch up to the back of Topster in a couple of laps, and has done so indeed. Halfway through lap 14, the gap is 5 seconds between these guys and Toussaint. The gap has gone up. Topster might be struggling with tyre wear, comparing it to the Mazda. The Mazda definitely has better rubber on his car.
He was practically pushing through that hairpin there. He's getting a move on. He's going to wait for the chance here on the straight.
A good run through the final chicane needed to get a slingshot you need. Was Tim Topster's exit was initially good enough. You can see the delta initially rising, but going down quite drastically through the final corner. Tim just seems to have it round the final corner. The gap 3/10 and closing by the second. Is he close enough to send one down the inside and towards turn 1? It doesn't look like it. Rick Holt's into the pits off of the mediums, but Tim has to stay behind Topster for now. But how much longer would he be behind that Peugeot? He's almost pushing him through the double right-hander of the first 2 corners. It's quite a short straight in towards turn 3, and one that you've really got to be alongside to really go for a move. Down towards the triple left-hander, there's 1 left-hander, 2 left-handers, 3 left-handers, technically 4 left-handers. Really strains the right-hand tyres, but then you have the final corner which strains the left, so it's really a tyre killer, this track.
I think Tim may have backed out a bit too much in the straight just so he could get more of a slingshot, but I think he might learn from that. He's a bit loose in the exit. I think Topster got a better exit there, and Finn is catching up by quite a lot. He is on the soft compound. He's been on it for a while actually.
6/10 quicker than Tim through that middle sector, and he's on the worn soft tyres, and he's caught up to the back of Tim. He's gone off. Tim has gone off for the second time at the second chicane. I've got to have a replay because I wasn't spectating Tim at the time. You can see Topster taking air. Does he take the inside curb? And it's just pretty much a spitting image of Tim's initial incident.
He goes for the pits.
Tim into the pits off of the mediums. We'll go on to a set of the soft compound tyres, I'd imagine, to try and undercut his rivals in front. Meanwhile, Piero is caught up to the back, Rick Holt, who has just come into the pits. Rick Holt on the fresher soft compound tyres, Piero just behind him, so he's done well to catch back up to Rick Holt, who was fighting with the likes of Tim. So this is going to be interesting to see where Piero can feed himself into this race, because he pitted 2 laps ago, and he is just behind Tim going in towards turn 1. So he's done really well to come back through. I'm trying to see where Bon Evil is. He's currently down in 11th place and is pitted for the super soft tyres. I can guarantee you super soft tyres cannot go 22 laps in this race. So that's another pit stop needed for Bon Evil, and is a minute behind his teammates.
Yeah, it's not the best Bon Evil would be hoping for today. As you said, he is a minute behind his teammate and down in 11th, which pretty much seals the constructors for Tiger and Toussaint.
Yeah, never say never. Dutchy and Bon Evil scoring a total of 34 points if it was to finish as it is. Tiger and Toussaint scoring 45, so he'll win it if it was to finish as it stands. Things can drastically change. Internet issues might say otherwise. Finn into the pits, tops the follows in pursuit, and what a way the championship could be decided by an internet disconnection.
Yeah, there's a spicy battle for 6 going on currently. Tim, after he's trying to recover from his spin and has made a stop for softs, is behind Rick Holt.
It's going to be close with Finn and Tobster coming out the pits. We could have a 4-way fight here. Where's Finn? Going in towards turn 1. He's going wheel to wheel with Rick Holt. Can Tim try and go around the outside of the German? Finn's actually wheel to wheel with Rick Holt on exit. Tim, though, with the drive on the exit, gets around the outside of Finn and his Porsche. And Finn drops down to 6th place. We've got a nice 4-way battle forming for 7th place. Topster behind has put in a full tank of fuel, which could almost see him to the end of the race. So for his second stint, might have to put in as much fuel. Rick Holt's gone wide. Tim's going to send one to the inside of the Dutch driver, and they're going to go wheel to wheel up the hill into the SS section. Rick Holt on the inside will become the outside for the second S. Tim, though, with the inside line, gets to move down up into 4th place. Finn might try and send one down at the hairpin with a good run through the session's SS section. Doesn't quite send it, isn't close enough. Piero, though, he might send one down the inside. There's a little bit of contact between the two. Finn going wide onto the curb. It's going to go wheel to wheel with the Frenchman. Just gets ahead on exit. Toussaint into the pits. Tiger and Dutchy stay out for another lap. Rick Holt, though, to the inside of Tim, down and towards the chicane. Can he make this one stick? Not quite. Tim just has the edge. Rick Holt has a good run, though, on the Mazda. But maintains behind for now and might leave him vulnerable to Finn in his Porsche. He's going to go down the inside towards the final corner. What a racing we've got from these 4 drivers, all on the fresh sort of softs. Finn actually on the super softs is now going wheel to wheel with Rick Holt. That Mercedes just has the superior straight line speed plus the added slipstream. Toussaint's just going to come out behind this train, not what he needed in this championship fight. Meanwhile, Finn and Rick Holt still wheel to wheel. Finn, though, gets in front, up into 4th place.
Crucially, I think Tim has pulled out the slipstream, so he's out of that danger of that 4-man slipstream train behind him. But that could easily change.
Yellow flags. What's happened here? Green, we're back to greens. Oh no, someone's off. It's Rick Holt. I couldn't even see. There were so many cars going through turn 4, 5 and 6. Let's get a replay. Does he run wide onto the red AstroTurf? He does run wide onto the red AstroTurf, and once you're on the red AstroTurf, you're a passenger. And he has collected some damage to his Mercedes. It's aided Toussaint out in this in his hope of gaining on Tiger and Dutchy. He does have a few cars in front of him to pass. Dutchy and Tiger both into the pits, making their first pit stop.
Have a look and move for Piero just before the chicane. I think he might decide to back out. No, he decides to go for it.
And down the inside.
Piero backed out.
Promotes Toussaint up into 5th. But where will Dutchy or Tiger filter into this train of cars? Dutchy definitely won't. He's already leaving the pits. Tim going around the final corner. Tiger's still sat in the pit box, putting in the wheel. He's been released. Where is Tim now going down the start finish straight? He's going to have the momentum going in towards turn 1. Where is Tiger Assassin? He's going to go wheel to wheel in towards turn 1. Tim on the outside. Can he get second place, or can Tiger hold this around the outside? And that is Tim now up into second place, and he's made this recovery work, pitting on that 15. He's now back up into second place. He's kind of the saving grace that Dutchy needs if there's a little bit of hope of those guys winning the Team's Constructors' Championship, with Tim up into second place, the most Tiger and Toussaint into third and 5th, because Finn is technically in a legit 4th place on the faster super soft tyres and can pit for super softs, can pit for super softs for his final stint.
Yeah, Finn's he's definitely gone for a different strategy, and it's definitely paying off. It was a risk, obviously, to go on a different strategy to like the non-popular one, to say the least. And it's definitely showing that it is paying off a bit. And obviously, when Tiger came out of the pits, it's definitely not what he wanted to get himself caught up in this pack, especially with Finn behind him on the faster compound and behind Tim. So, yeah, see if he can try and get past Tim, or maybe not, we never know.
Yeah, Finn has nailed the strategy, starting on the mediums like everyone else did. Pitted early for the softs, I think it was like lap 7. He pitted a few laps to go for the super softs, and has caught back up to the top 3, besides Dutchy, who's 10 seconds out in front.
Yeah, it's a great drive from Dutchy, right? Like, 10-second lead. Is Tim in a legit, like, Tim has lost in the chicane twice, and he's still found himself ahead of Tiger and Toussaint.
Crucially, on a worn set of soft tyres, 4 or 5 laps older are his soft tyres, so it's definitely going to be on the back foot when it comes to the end of the stint. But Pursuit continues to go purple through the first sector. Absolutely outstanding pace from Tim. He's shown it in qualifying.
You have to be careful not to push too hard, or else he will struggle on tire wear towards the end of the stint compared to Tiger and Toussaint.
We've seen him make a few mistakes this race. Doesn't want to make any more. If he's to finish in second place in this race, he's currently 4th in the Drivers' Championship. If I can just get that up on my screen, I can tell you how far behind he is. He's 7 points behind Toussaint, 13 points behind Tiger Assassin. So at best, he can probably finish at 3rd place at this rate. He's going to have Tiger, or need Tiger, to finish down in 8th place, I think, or lower, to jump him in the championship. But he's putting out a gap, 1.2.
Yes, this battle's starting to die down a bit, the gap's extending.
Look at that train though. You can all cars down to, what's this, Topster, all going down through turn 1 and 2. They're almost in the same camera shot. If we got one from the entry facing down like we do here, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars making their ways towards turn 3.
None of them are really that close enough to make a move though. They're all pretty much like just within slipstream range, but like obviously not close enough to get close to make a move.
And the dirty air through the middle sector is not going to help. Someone's off at the final chicane, and it is Webson's. I'm going to get a replay to see, so we can show the viewers what happened, and the same crash that happened to Tim getting on the curb. We're taking too much speed on the curb through the second chicane, and causes the rear to snap out, and a spin into the gravel for Webson's, dropping him further behind Ted. But if any loyal viewers who have been here from the start of GT Sport League, we went to this track in Season 2, except we went to this track forward. Someone's off, and it's Topster. Topster's off at the second chicane. The second chicane is taking a few victims here tonight. Let's have a replay to see what happened on board. Takes flight on the first chicane, but might have hit a moon or a star with that much air.
Crucially doesn't have damage. So
Crucially doesn't have damage.
He's still 4 seconds ahead of Aston as well.
7.5 seconds behind Piero. That's not going to help his race if he wants to finish inside the top 6. But going back to what I was saying before we had 2 spinners, if anyone was loyal from season 2, we went to this track forwards, and it was the start of Dutchy domination. I think this was the 2nd or 3rd race of the season, and I think Dutchy won by 30 or 40 seconds. And that was the first time I think Dutchy had led from start to finish, and he just went. No one could catch him. He was gone from turn 1, never to be seen again. This seems to be one of Dutchy's favourite tracks, or one that he definitely gets into the groove with. So a reminder, I'll write it down not to put it on the calendar next season.
Mafia.
Someone's off at turn 2. They've lost it quite far down turn 2. Is that Ted? I think it is Ted. He's got engine damage. Let's get a replay to see what happened to the Irishman. I'm going to guess he ran wide and hit the barrier that sticks out on the left-hand side. Am I correct? He's ran wide and he's hit the barrier on the left-hand side that sticks out, and he's got engine damage, rear left suspension damage, and he will be into the pits and will be stone dead last. Unfortunately for him, doesn't bode well for what could occur tomorrow. Piero into the pits from 6th place. Will be a stretch to take Super Softs to the end. Tops are also in, so maybe these guys are following what Finn is doing, but they're doing it later on in the race. I mean, it could work with 2 sets of supers.
Maybe they could just try the supers to the end, which obviously would be stupid. Let's just see what tire Piero comes out on the supers, and Tobster goes out on the softs.
Both
so
in between.
Tobster still needs to make another stop.
Another stop he needs to make indeed, in order to meet the rules and regulations. We saw Dan last week almost forget or misclicked and accidentally went onto 2 sets of soft and had to pit on the final few laps for a set of super softs. Aston on a very worn set of soft tyres. Those front tyres are, fair to say, they've seen better days. 20 seconds behind Toussaint, 1.7 ahead of Bon Evil, who's on the set of the super soft. Tyre wears about the same. Could Bon Evil climb himself back up into this championship fight? He's got to make another pit stop for tyres, because those super softs aren't making to the end. I'm going to guess he's going to go into a set of the softs. And if he shows the pace he's shown all season, he will get ahead of Aston. But can he? I mean, it all counts down. It all goes to where does Tiger and Toussaint finish in respective to Tim and Finn. Those are the 2 drivers who have the biggest role in this race.
And also, really, once Bon Evil makes the stop, like, he's going to drop behind Rick Holt, who recently made a stop. Tobster recently made a stop. And yeah, that will bring him down to 9th, I think. Or 8th. So,
Bon Evil.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's going to be... I mean, he's currently 6th in the championship, so he's got the pace of everyone lower, effectively, but it's whether he can do it in the final 15 minutes worth... No, 20 minutes worth of racing, sorry. It's going to be tough, but never say never. Mistakes can still be made from either of the championship contenders. Dutchy might crash, someone might disconnect. Who knows? Toussaint running in 5th place after starting from the back of the grid. Made an absolutely outstanding start. Found maybe 8, 7 places halfway through lap 2. Now finds himself in the slipstream of Finn, trying to gain more points to aid their chances of winning this Constructors' Championship for the 3rd consecutive time in a row.
Yeah, this battle's definitely died down, except for the Toussaint and Finn. Finn obviously on worn supers, which he might be starting to struggle now. Maybe we might see his pace drop off a bit. As something happened to Tim. Tim has engine damage. Tim has bumper and engine damage. In the middle,
let's get a replay.
quadruple right left-hander.
Oh, and he's ran wide onto the curb and onto the AstroTurf, and it's just sent him into the barrier, and that's the third mistake we've seen from Tim. And you've got to think, well, you've got to say to yourself now, with the engine damage, I think it's over for Tim if he wants to get a podium.
He had the pace to win this race. We saw that in qualifying and at the start of the race when he was right behind Dutchy until he made that mistake. And to be honest, to still be up there and spin twice, he really good. But I can't see him go back after this engine damage.
I mean, he had the pace to win the race, but it's the consistency that sees the driver through to the end. And I'm clocking the fifth mistake just this race, including qualifying. It's definitely a day to forget for Tim. But Tiger and Toussaint will be licking their lips. It's a free position, second and third, fourth place. Bonnie needs to finish in third now to win the championship, with Dutchy leading out in front. 30 points for Dutchy, 42 for Tiger and Toussaint as things stand, which means Bonnie has to get into fifth place. My apologies, that was... Yes, it is. Yes, it is fifth place. Bonnie needs fifth place if it's to finish as it is. Currently running in ninth, but promoted to eighth with Tim in the pits.
And obviously with Tim's engine damage, it will help him a bit. But he is still 15 seconds behind Topster, so he does have some ground to make up.
But thankfully for Tim's strategy, he's come out ahead of Aston. Supersofts could probably make it to the end. He's quite the distance now behind the race leaders.
The battle between Topster and Rick Holt going on. Topster's just looking for a gap to open up. He was seen looking for an opening through that middle sector. Has a run, but he's going to tuck into the slipstream of Rick Holt. We might see him move into the chicane here as Rick Holt goes defensive.
That Peugeot really lacking straight line speed down the straight. You can see the Delta just coming down so slowly. In that battle, the Mercedes just has the superior straight line speed advantage. Topster, though, with the coring, might try and get him into the final corner. Toussaint and Finn, though, going wheel to wheel through turn 3. Finn on Toussaint on the inside. Finn trying to hold it round the outside. But I'd imagine Finn would be into the pits this lap, having his fuel light engaged. Webstons has caught up to the back of them, or they've just overtaken
Webstons.
Webstons.
Into turn 1.
Topster and Rick Holt now going wheel to wheel. Topster down the inside, in towards turn 1. Rick Holt has to bail out, and Topster's promoted up into 6th place. What is the gap between Rick Holt and Bonneville? 15 seconds. If Bonnie's going to the end, this championship might be on if he can catch up to Topster. Pierre might still have to make another scheduled pit stop if he can take the tyres to the end. Finn and Toussaint, Dutchy, they've all got a pit. Someone's gone off, and it's Ted who's gone off with engine damage, and I think that is Ted who has left the session. We can have a replay of what's happened to the Irishman in the Peugeot. He's got onto the red AstroTurf. Yes, he has, and the same with Rick Holt, the same with Tim. Ted has left the session. Finn into the pits, trying to undercut Toussaint. You'd imagine he'd be reacting at the end of this lap. The gap's come down by 2 seconds to Bonnie and Rick Holt. Ladies and gentlemen, the championship fight, I think, is still on. We'll have to wait and see. Toussaint needs to get 3rd place to guarantee a win. If it finishes Dutchy with 1st and these two in 2nd and 3rd, Bonnie needs 5th with the fastest lap, which is currently owned by Play Dutchy. He's doing everything he can to help his team win the Constructors. This could still go down to the wire.
Yeah. As you said throughout this whole race, never say never. Honestly, Bonnie does have a fighting chance for this Constructors.
Although Topster doesn't need to pit. Rick Holt does need to pit. Finn going wheel to wheel with Piero. Doesn't need to pit. They're going to go side by side up the hill in towards the S's. Piero on the inside. Can Finn work it round the outside? What grip on the super soft tyres gets him ahead of Piero through the S's. A really good move from Finn. And, well, he's now hunting down Toussaint. 26 seconds, and he's gaining so much. He's going to come out ahead of Toussaint. I'm calling it.
I applaud Finn's strategy, to be honest.
His
He's done a
strategy.
great job managing those tyres.
I mean, I think he started in 6th or 7th, and he didn't get off to the best of start. Made a slight mistake on lap 1, and he's already up. He's up in the 4th place, and these guys ahead still need to make a pit stop. Toussaint stays out for another lap. I'm surprised, to be perfectly honest. I'm sure Rick Holt will be into the pits with the low fuel he has.
Finn's also, as you mentioned, is a deciding factor for this Constructors' Championship, especially with the strategy he's on. So, we just have to wait and see for when Toussaint and Tiger make their pit stop to see where Finn ends up in this.
4 drivers stopping Bonneville, claiming his and Dutchy's first Constructors' Championship. Rick Holt into the pits will concede the position to Bonneville, who'll get promoted up to 7th. At this rate, Team Interrogator are scoring 40 points, which means Toussaint needs to drop down to 5th if Tiger finishes in 2nd for Dutchy and Bonnie to win this championship. Does Piero doesn't need to pit, and if Finn's gaining on Toussaint, Piero's right behind. Toussaint might come out in 5th place.
I don't think Piero has enough fuel. So
it's going to be close. You say, actually, yeah, 9 laps, 25%. I think he's got about 5 laps of fuel in the tank, so
yeah,
Piero might have to make another pit stop. But that could promote Bonnie up a position and score him an extra 2 points. Those 2 points might be crucial depending on what happens to Tiger and Toussaint, who stay out for another lap.
This is really getting intense at the moment. But Tim is right behind Bonnie in the slipstream, so
could Tim be the one to ruin Bonnie's hopes of winning the championship? We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, Tim could be up there in at least 1st or 2nd position. The mistakes he's made this race has cost him so much time. There's another one running wide at the penultimate corner. Speaking of mistakes, anything can still happen. We've still got so much time left in this race. I know it's 8 laps, but with a lap time being 1.5 minutes, we've still got about 12, 13 minutes worth of racing. We've just clocked over 46 minutes as shown in the bottom left. Dutchy with a 17-second advantage. Does he pit? Surely he pits this lap. He has to. He's got no fuel in the car. Practically no fuel in the car anyway. He stays out. He's a madman. Surely Tiger and Toussaint, they've got, well, Toussaint doesn't, but Tiger's got plenty of fuel, but you'd think they'd pit for the fresh set of super soft, surely.
Dutchy is known for using every last drop of his fuel for pitting. I remember in Spa or something, he ran out of fuel as he got into the pits back in season 1 when he was replacing me and made his GT Sport debut.
And I was saying this to Cryptic at the start of the season, when I first introduced the tyre strategies. Why do unnecessary laps on the worn soft or worn mediums when the super softs can comfortably make it to the end from here and probably set quicker laps over the course of the final 7 we have? Tim is right behind Bonnie Evil going through the chicane, and you'd think he might get him in towards turn 1 with the superior grip on the fresh super soft tyres. Tops is into the pit, so is Piero. This could promote Bonnie up into 5th place. But where are they going to come out? They're still putting the tyres on. Tops hasn't made it to the pit stop. Tim could be the deciding factor. They're going wheel to wheel down the start-finish straight. There's lots of wheel banging between the two. Tim almost getting pushed up against the pit wall. They come out ahead of Piero and Topster. Bonnie's up into 6th place. If Finn undercuts Toussaint, that could be the deciding factor in the championship.
And Finn's only 22 seconds behind Toussaint, and I'm not too sure how long a pit stop here is, but I think it is definitely well over 20 seconds. We could easily have a look with Dutchy, who came to the pits with 0% fuel.
but more importantly, Tobster and Piero on fresh, soft, super soft tyres against Bonnie's worn softs. Bonnie's going to have to push those tyres, defend like mad to win the championship. It's still on. Tiger's staying out. Two Saints into the pits. This is going to be close. Where is Finn? He's coming around the penultimate corner. Has he got enough? Has he pushed enough in these 4 or 5 laps he's been on those super soft tyres? Is he going to get the undercut? Is he going to deny a possible Constructors' Championship for Team BCMR? Where is Toussaint? He's still in the pits. Finn's gone past. He's up into 3rd. He's been jumped. Toussaint's been jumped.
It's getting very spicy.
6 laps to go.
Tobster does get ahead of Bonnie, but Bonnie could look back. Tobster's trying to break the slipstream by weaving.
It's not over.
When he's not close enough.
Till it's over. But Tobster could still make an error. He's on the fresh tyres. Bonnie Evil's gone wide. You don't want to be going out there wide there. It can just cause the car to drag. Now here goes Piero behind the Englishman. This will certainly deny him of a Constructors' Championship. Around the outside, he's got through. Bonnie's now down to 8th place once again. The championship swayed sides once again. Now Tiger Assassin, leading on the racetrack, will drop down to 2nd place. Maybe even 3rd with the 26-second gap to Finn. Bonnie though. Bonnie's off! Bonnie's off!
Oh... He has rear damage and rear left suspension. He's definitely going to have to pit. Or he could stay out, maybe.
A replay on the screen for everyone who missed the incident. There's no grip on the race, drifting through the hairpin. That's it, done. It's over.
Tiger's
ahead of Finn.
Tiger's ahead of Finn.
That's it. Rick Holt's only... Aston might even finish ahead of Bonnie at this rate, only 5-6 seconds behind. There is no grip on the rear of that BMW. It's already a car that has a significantly more oversteer than the average car. And he's pitting. That's it, that's done. This championship over.
Fair play to Bonnie for not giving up to the end. She's got very unlucky with that accident. Obviously, Tiger and Toussaint, even better jobs, currently at second and 4th. And Finn, honestly, like, he has an exceptional race.
He's got nothing to lose.
If there was a driver of the day vote, my vote would definitely go to Finn.
Finn going into this race with absolutely nothing to lose. The drivers have been wrapped up. He's not in contention for the Constructors. And he's done a masterclass with the strategy, an absolute blinder. None of the other drivers saw it coming. And with Bonnie Evil down to 9th place. Aston actually pit on the same lap as Bonnie Evil, maybe to try and go for the fastest lap. Bonnie Evil's off again! And with engine damage. What an end. Not the end he would have been hoping for, to finish Season 4, to finish what could have been his first Constructors' Championship, but it's ended with 3 spins, 2 sets of engine damage. Pulls over to the side of the track to let his teammate go through, who's going to see his teammate down in 10th place off the track. And in a way, you kind of, despite his wins, you kind of have to feel for Play Dutchy. He's done everything in his power to try and win this championship. He's won every race but 3 this season. But the support hasn't quite been there from Bonnie Evil, who's been up there in the past, finishing in really good 4th, 5th places, got the 2nd place last week in Mount Panorama. And just when it looked so promising, Dragon Trail Seaside turned around and shattered, Dragon Trail Gardens, turned around and just shattered those dreams. Toussaint, though, might still finish on the podium in this race, is in the slipstream of Finn in 3rd place. Toussaint on much fresher tyres.
Takes a defensive line that could affect his run.
that someone off at turn 1? I think that might have been a back marker, actually, just letting someone go through. Speaking of back markers, I think it's actually Bonnie Evil. And indeed it is. Toussaint will be seeing the crawling BMW going into the pits, but he's not going to be focusing on that because he's now going wheel to wheel with Finn's Porsche in towards turn 1. They're level going into the braking zone. Who's going to come out on top? Can Finn hold this round the outside? Not quite. He's going to get a good run though, having taken the wider line. But that Delta is not quite coming down as quickly as he'd imagined. Toussaint swipes over to break the slipstream.
The advantage Finn had pretty much whole race is starting to go down now, with him pitting for the Supers a lot earlier than Toussaint.
Meanwhile, the gap for the battle for 5th place is still on. And, well, it looks like Bonnie was a part of this, except a lap down. It must hurt. It hurts to say that on the final race of the season when results and positions mean so much. But how quickly things can all change. There was a small mistake at the start that really lit the fuse. And then from there on in, the recovery drive looked so promising. But then realisation kind of kicked in when you realised everyone behind was on the fresher, super soft compound tyres. Bonnie had nothing to fight with. Here goes Tobster though, he's still got something to fight with. Tim letting Tobster go through up into 5th place. Was that a tactical decision to get the move back in towards turn 1 perhaps?
Maybe. I think.
Or has Tim got enough fuel? He seems to be losing a lot of time to the cars around him. You'd think so with 3 laps to go.
Difference. Dutchy's fuel is way lower than Tim's, so.
Now with the tyre wear situation, Tobster's definitely got the best in this fight. I think Tim is struggling with tyre wear. He pitted earlier than these guys with the damage. We could still have a battle on here for 5th place in this race. Pierre is looking feisty in the background. Dutchy with... well, I mean, he's almost a lap ahead of Tim. Tobster and Piero are going wheel to wheel through the triple, quadruple left-hander. Piero on the outside. Can he find the grip? Not quite.
Honestly, for Tim to make those 2 mistakes and have engine damage and still be in this battle for 5th place is pretty good for him on
Piero
side,
sends one.
Piero's going to send it on the hairpin. They're going to go side by side into the straight, leading up to the death chicane. I don't know if you call it the death chicane, but...
the chicane of sausages. And Piero will have the inside line for the initial right-hander. Gets the job done initially. Tim's going to be fighting back though. Bon Evil a lap down. Is allowed to unlap himself. Actually Tim's making it a little bit difficult for Bonnie to unlap himself. They're going to go wheel to wheel through the final corner. Racing on track but not full position as they start the penultimate lap of this race. These guys do anyway. Dutchy started it about 45 seconds ago. Bonnie and Tim might actually going to go
good for Tim.
Wheel to wheel in towards turn 1. Definitely not what Tim would have been hoping for. Bonnie is technically allowed to fight for the position, being a lap down, but you think with 2 laps to go it's almost going to be a miracle to get ahead. Weaves down the straights.
Yeah, Tim's lost quite some time to the cars ahead now, with Bonnie trying to unlap himself.
Play Dutchy rounds the final corner to start the final lap of the race. Maybe this might be decent for Tim. Bonnie Evil might try and attack Piero, and that might hold Piero up enough for Tim to go through. I don't know what other way to say it, but useless points in terms of the constructors and the drivers. They're all being wrapped up tonight. No one really in the fight, but the racing continues anyway, and it's glad that we're seeing such good action for one last time this year. An end to 2021.
Yeah, it's been a great year in terms of racing, league racing and real life, so yeah, hopefully we have a good season finale in F1, and we're also having a season finale hopefully F1 season, Lally, would be just as exciting as this one.
Most definitely. With one of the contenders crashing out on a recovery drive, that would definitely be interesting. Meanwhile, Play Dutchy, he was coming through the middle sector. I'm not sure how pleased he's going to be with this result. He's got the win. He's going to take the win unless he leaves. He's got the fastest lap. He's going to make it. How many wins this season? Let me just have another look at the standings. He rounds the final chicane though for the final time this season. One corner to go for your championship winner. He gets a 5/10 penalty to add to the miseries of this race, but he wins here in Dragon Trail Gardens and takes home another victory this season. He's won 12. He's at 12th race win of the season. Does a donut on the line to celebrate. He hasn't won. He's only not won 3 races this season, but takes home a 12th. Another fastest lap. Everything he could possibly do, but finishing in 2nd and 3rd place to win the Constructors' Championship. Tiger finishes in 2nd, and as long as Toussaint doesn't leave going across the line, your Constructors' Championships have been crowned. Tiger and Toussaint are your champions for Season 4. The Group A Constructors has been wrapped up by Team BCMR. Congrats to them. It's been an outstanding drive all season long, despite the interesting moments, especially at Suzuka. Tops just ran out of fuel. No, he hasn't. He just looked like he was going slowly across the line. Finishes in 5th place. Piero in 6th. Tim with a disappointing 7th, considering where he could have been in this race. Rick Holt in 8th. Aston will finish in 9th. Ahead of Websons might be enough to get their team ahead in the Constructors' Championships. And Bon Evil, I don't know what to say.
Not the race he would have wanted, to be honest.
One to forget.
You could tell he was getting his frustrations out on Tim and Piero trying to unlap himself.
But for the final time,
by the way, he was driving.
For the final time this season, it's the same driver, it's the same suit, the same name underneath that victory sign. Who wins this race? He must have a collection of trophies, a forest worth of ribbon banners. But I'll quickly get on screen the finishing results. But we believe we're going to be treated with a little bit of a party after this race. A few cheeky donuts. Dutchy wins his 12th race of the season. Starts with a win, ends with a win. And a grand slam of pole, fastest lap, and the race win. Tiger and Toussaint joins him on the podium, but I think there'll be more celebrations down at Team BCMR, taking home their 3rd consecutive Constructors' Championship. Finn, with a master strategy, finishes in 4th place ahead of his fellow German Tobster in 5th, with Pierre in 6th, Tim down in 7th place, Rick Holt in 8th, Aston in 9th, Websons in 10th, Bonnie Evil down in 11th place, with Ted the only retirement from this race. You can see on the minimap we've got a party down at turn 1, so we're going to leave it here, ladies and gentlemen, with donuts from everyone on the grid. Thank you so much for joining us over the past 15 weeks. Tim has definitely ploughed into that barrier with some speed, but it's been an absolute pleasure this season to do the commentary. The drivers have been amazing, the racing has been fantastic, and we're going to get some formation driving from your drivers, Constructors' Champions. Are we going to see Play Dutchy join them? Where's Dutchy at? Is Dutchy going to join Tiger and Toussaint down in towards turn 2 with the parties and the celebrations kicking off at turn 1 and 2? We'll keep this on the screen for a little bit and waffle longer than any other finale we've ever waffled on for. You can see Tiger and Toussaint doing donuts under the tunnel, Tobster joining them, your 3 champions from Season 4. And what a camera angle we've actually got here if Tiger can do a donut for us nicely. And looks like we're going to get some formation driving instead with a beautiful camera shot of all 3 going wheel to wheel. That is a wallpaper and a half, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to take a screenshot, there is one view of your champions this season. Drivers Play Dutchy in the middle, and as a team, Tiger and Toussaint. I know I'm waffling for quite a lot. Let me just quickly calculate this. Yeah, Tiger and Toussaint. 18 podiums between them, but only 2 race wins. And in the end, it was the consistency from those guys that has won them the championship. Play Dutchy with fastest lap in pretty much every other race. Piero almost forgetting donuts. How could you? I have waffled on far too long at the end, but it's so sad to see the season end.
Yeah, definitely. Also, but I can tell, I haven't watched all the races, but I can tell you, has been excited championship, even with Dutchy dominating. Like, you have to respect like the effort and the work he puts in to get those wins and the championship.
Yeah, definitely.
He was just shy of the constructors, unfortunately, but obviously very consistent drive from Tiger and Toussaint.
When you reflect on the previous races, it's not like Dutchy's dominated every single one. He's had to work for these races. We saw Dutchy dominance here tonight. Nürburgring, despite I missed that, I did watch the race. I have to, obviously. Didn't dominate in that one. Tokyo Expressway had to work his way to the front and win that one. The sprint race as well. He was just unstoppable in the sprint. Fuji, he went from the back of the grid to first place in 20 minutes. I mean, that's just absolutely insane. And then you think about the things that have happened to Tiger and Toussaint. The crash in Suzuka, the crash at Mount Panorama, Toussaint missing the Red Bull Ring, the poor form that Tiger was on for a few races. He went 5 races without a podium. But yeah, it was that consistency that got them the Constructors' Championship, their 3rd in a row. And I don't think I can say they don't deserve it. Everyone, well, they definitely deserve it. They didn't, it's been such a clean drive, such a really good drive from them all season. It's been the same thing we've seen from season 1. They've always been up there, always been performing at their best, but I think it is time to end this one. And, well, I'll get the joys of doing the commentary for the final Group B race tomorrow at the same time, where all the championships have been wrapped up in that one. But if anyone is watching, any drivers, any new drivers, anyone who wants to get involved, new season will hopefully be starting up as soon as possible after the winter break. In January, I look for an 8 to 9 race calendar, which will finish on the day GT7 gets released, which is actually perfect timing. So that's going to wrap it up here in the Group A Championship. I hope you guys have enjoyed all 15 races. Let me know what one was your favourite, your least favourite, most unexpected, driver of the season. Let me know. Send me a message, Discord, Instagram, whatever, comments down below. Subscribe to the YouTube, follow us on Twitch, do what you've got to do. But I'll see you tomorrow. But for the Group A streams, I'll see you all next year. Have a Merry Christmas and enjoy the new year. Goodbye.